Welcome to the Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast. Tonight is the big finale, the top 20 films of all time. Blowout list extravaganza. My name is Ronnie, as I'm sure some of you know, and I'm humbled and honored to introduce your hosts, Wes Ford and Zach Harris. Hello you two, it's fantastic to see you both. I hope this historic evening finds you well.
Yeah, I am doing good, Ronnie. Thanks for asking,
Yeah, we're doing great. Thanks for asking.
How are you doing, Ronnie? You doing well?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. I'm very excited to hear your lists. I've been wondering what will be on them. But why am I hogging the mic? I will let you two get to it.
Wow, thanks, Ronnie. I've never heard you speak with such passion before.
Yeah, totally. And no hogging at all, Ronnie. Really glad, to have you on the show.
Yeah, it's great. Great to have you on, and this is our final episode. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
We rant about movies and drink while we do it. On our final episode, we'll be counting down our top 20 films of all time. Probably the hardest thing we've ever done.
Yeah, my whole life.
My whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be pausing to rant throughout as we do, and reminisce, and we actually have a few. We have a few surprises along the way from our listeners, so look forward to that. But tonight we're drinking separate things. Mm-hmm. Zach, do you want to start with yours?
Yeah, well, pumpkin beer is apparently out now. It's gone, and Christmas beer is in the stores. I don't know who's drinking Christmas beer right now, but I was able to find a Breckenridge Brewery Autumn Ale, which sounded festive. Never had a Breckenridge before. It's from Colorado. Yeah. Ooh, 7%. Didn't see that before, so that's a nice.
Oh, nice, well, hey, there you go.
And after I finish these, I got a couple half-acre Oktoberfest that maybe I'll polish one off of,
Oh, amazing. You got a good lineup there.
I'm getting tanked tonight. This is the top 20, baby.
Top 20? Hey, it's our last episode, right?
Last episode, right?
Let's we're gonna be festive. And we're gonna be celebrating. So I got a pumpkin beer I'd never had before. I was like, oh, first of all, it's the only pumpkin beer I could find in this store. Mm-hmm. Second of all, never tried it. I was like, oh, okay. It's New Holland's Ichabod Pumpkin Ale, and I tried it before the podcast. Just not good. just awful.
That's a bummer. And
it's not good if I am not willing to drink it, because I'll drink anything. So yeah, I had to toss that one. Just couldn't do it. It was not great. So
that's rough.
Gonna be
tossing a beer is a big gesture. It's got to be pretty rough. You're tossing it.
I downed as much as I could just because I spent money on this. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna let you get the better of me, but. I dumped out some of it and might dump out the rest of the 6-pack. But so I picked up something else in the fridge. Blake's Hard Cider, really great cider from Michigan. Oh, hey, by the way, I live in Michigan now.
Yeah, your new stomping grounds.
Yeah, I live outside Detroit. So that's another reason why this podcast took a while to get to, because moving is a thing that takes forever.
It's tough. Yeah. Especially when it's across the country, new job.
Across the country.
A lot of stuff.
It's been a whirlwind for sure. But the Blake cider, my wife and I, we've always been big fans of this cider place. And now it's not far from us. Can't wait to go to it. We're actually going to go and pick a pumpkin this weekend from Blake's cider.
Hell yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's great.
So, yeah, this is the caramel apple from Blake's. I'm going to drink that. And once I finish that, I'm going to be drinking Diet Squirt with raspberry rum.
Hell yeah. Woo!
Because it's
it off.
really, really tasty. So, cheers.
Cheers. Getting that sip going, baby.
Have you had Blake cider before?
No, I haven't. I gotta check it.
You really should look it up. Really good ciders. Their ciders are a little too sweet for me to drink too many of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one during this time of year that Emily gets. She won't let me have any of it because it's her favorite cider. And
Get
drink. It's called Apple Lantern.
Okay.
Really good. It's like literally fall in a can.
Nice. I like that.
It tastes like fall in a can. I can't describe it any better than that. Look out for that. But yeah, the caramel apple, it's really good. Tastes like caramel apple.
Nice. They got that, that's got to be here, right? Michigan ain't too far away. It's got to be in Chicago, right? Blake's?
Oh, yeah. You got to have Blake's.
I'm looking for Blake's. Next time I go to the store, I'm looking for Blake's. How about that?
Really good cider. Really good cider. All right. Well, before we get into this, Ronnie, you want to say it just one more time for us?
This podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/LTURAM. Choose from 180,000 titles from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now back to you, Wes.
That was good. That was good. It was so much unlike all the other times that you've said it.
Yeah, it was really, really beautiful send-off there, Ronnie, for that last delivery. It's great.
If you all like what you hear in this episode, remember you can find other episodes of our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, and most major podcast platforms. And since this is our last episode, we recommend checking out the majority of our catalog on YouTube. Most of the stuff is up there. There are a few archived episodes that I still need to get up. It's been requested that I get those up, and I've very slowly and not very I apologize to Alex Lundy mostly who wants these.
Yeah.
But I've not been able to get to them, and I promise you I will. But there are some archived ones up there. Eventually I'll have them all up there. So
hell yeah.
That's where you can find most of our catalog. I recommend going there. All right. We're going to get into our top 20. Lists are sealed.
They're sealed? Okay?
They're sealed.
My God. Give me
you
5.
Can't change them.
No,
now.
I'm just kidding. Give me 5 minutes. Come on. It's true.
This is it.
There's no fucking with it anymore. It's over.
So let's give the little we
gotta preface these lists a little bit.
We got a little preface. You go ahead with your little preface. What do you want to say before you do this?
I found it almost nearly impossible to make this list at first. So I set up a couple guidelines for myself that, just ways to help me kind of sort through and make sense of finding the list. So I don't think it was really an issue, but I was like, I probably wouldn't pick more than one movie from the same person, same like filmmaker. So for a lot of it, I feel like it was kind of like, I feel like the movies kind of fell in, but also maybe there were a few times where it was like, well, I'm not going to put two of this guy, two of them, So also with that being said, I feel like just sort of naturally, which I guess is sort of just like your favorite movies, but I feel like I gravitated more towards influence or like personal importance, I guess, where it's like these might not be my favorite movies in the terms of like I've seen them all 100 times, you know what I mean? I watch them every year, but movies that made like a really big impact on me, especially when I saw them for the first time. So, I feel like with that in consideration, sometimes, things that maybe had a bigger impact aren't higher on the list because sometimes that funness or rewatchability does outweigh that. So it all funnels down. You have to make choices, but I would say that I leaned more in towards like movies that were like important or like I resonated with the most, you know.
No, that's great. I think, and and obviously for everyone out there, this is for, let's just say this is for fun. This list isn't solidified. I mean, we were constantly changing it before we came in here.
This is locked in forever, Wes, and it's always traveling with you for the rest of your life. You can't change it now. No. It's our legacy.
Well, I take back everything.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I just want to say that, like, I kind of similar thing too. I went into this as like what I think were the top, not necessarily my favorite.
Okay.
So it might be a little different, slightly different perspective, but I feel like in a way we sort of both sort of molded them together as like they're a mixture of our favorite films, because you want to add like some of your favorite ones, but also the ones that have had the most impact. And also I think what ultimately gave out for my list was, at least for the top half, were films that I think were not only like ones that I really resonated with, but ones that I really think in a world perspective have like the most impact, or like really were the most influential of its time, and had impacts on like the industry. That's sort of how I saw it too. So we could keep talking about that all day. Like, I just wanted to preface that, like, this isn't my list of favorite films.
No,
although
sure.
My favorite films are in here.
Yeah.
But like, they're not like my list of like, my favorite films of all time.
Yeah, it's like Mouse Hunt isn't on my list, but is Mouse Hunt a 5 out of 5 incredible film? Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Is Home Alone a 5 out of 5 incredible film?
Yeah.
It's not on my list, But
yeah.
I feel like it was an interesting thing honing it down too. I feel like I kind of like I made my, I don't know about you, but I made my roster of 20 like pretty early on, and then it was all sorting, like sliding them babies around. Like I feel like I got the 20 down pretty early on.
Okay.
Kind of tried to do the first step. What are the movies that resonated with the most to me or are most important to me? Also taking into account like a broader context, but then ordering them almost once you had that roster on like the ones that you know what I mean? I feel like that came into play later.
I feel like I had my like top 15 like solidified, at least that those films I wanted in it.
Yeah.
And then so I sort of rearranging those, but like my bottom 5, they became like just so interchangeable that in a list of like 10 other films that were going in and out of the list, that my top 30 is what I wanted to like cram into the 20,
Yeah.
So there were many films that were like dropping between 15 and like 25 or even down to 30, and all
dipping
those
in, dipping out.
Honestly, they're all kind of interchangeable at some point, where they're just like, they're all like equal. I don't know how to do this.
It's so hard, especially picking number 1. Too hard. It's like it's not even a definitive thing, I feel like.
It's not. I mean, none of it really is. I think it's more of a grouping.
Fuck lists. Lists are bullshit.
You know what? Let's just not do this.
Fuck my list. Shit anyway. Don't look at it.
Yeah, so I was literally adding like some films at the very bottom and trying to changing those out like 30 minutes before we came on here.
Oh yeah. Damn, that's tough. I was definitely I was shifting. I pretty much came back to what I had like a week ago though. Which I had because we planned this and then you had to move. So I had like a somewhat roster, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I got time, so stressful." I took a little break, So I feel like
I took a long break from the list.
I feel like I, through my like manic swapping, kind of arrived back at like a very similar layout that I had then.
Interesting.
Which just interesting, I guess. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it was weird. And another thing too, I'll say is like I think like earlier this week I was going through the list and I realized like I had like a lot of films that I really think like have a lot of respect for. I'm like these are got to be in there. I respect these films. And then like by the end, I think the list that I have now has just gone towards the films that like I just really kind of like the most, like near the end.
Yeah.
Like I ended up adding more of those in and taking out the ones that like feel should be in a top 20 and ended up going towards films that like you said were sort of more impactful to me.
For sure.
So yeah, it's a crazy thing to try and do.
It's tough.
Very tough, but we're going to get into it.
How many buckets have you sweat? I've sweat 10, maybe 12 Baker's dozen.
I'm about there. A lot.
Racking up my 14th bucket. This is rough. All right.
Even now, I'm just like, oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 20.
Oh, shit. Who's going first? Should I go first? Or do you want to go first?
I don't care.
What were you gonna? Were you just gonna say one? I feel like you had it.
I can say. I'll start with mine.
Okay.
Just because I want to get it out. My number 20.
All
Lord
time.
of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Nice. Beautiful
This
film.
is a movie that was, as I told you, my bottom list was going in and out, and I dropped it, brought it back in, dropped it many times, but I kept coming back to it because it's like, it's just the greatest, to me, like one of the greatest fantasy films of all time.
Definitely.
And it's incredible. And we've talked about this before, like the fact that it's almost like the trilogy too of Lord of the Rings was sort of the end of an era in a way where you have these like grand epic fantasy films shot on location, on film. I don't think we'll ever get this again.
It's a miracle movie or trilogy. It really is a miracle.
And I could have put any of the trilogy in there. I mean, some people would put Return of the King, but The Fellowship is my favorite, and I just think it's like just a great fantasy movie. So that's my number 20.
All right. A good number 20. Great film. Good kick off.
Yeah.
All right, my number 20 is Return of the Jedi.
What?
So I feel like Star Wars is tough because it's like not even a movie. We've had this discussion before. So it's like, where the fuck do you put Star Wars on the list? Because it was like, you know what I mean? Definitely a big influential thing. I love it. It's something that like I don't think my love has gone down, but I definitely, I watched it like 500 times when I was younger, so I don't watch it as much anymore, but when I do, it hits.
Right.
It's a banger, And
good.
I felt like it was too hard to place. Anywhere I placed it, it felt weird, so I'm just giving it the it's on the list shout out at 20 because I don't know
That's kind of how I felt with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. No, for sure.
That's how I felt.
Similar 20 slot move. I
just like a little kind of like a shout out, like it's in there.
Where do I put this? I don't fucking
exactly. Yep. Oh, great pick.
Right. Yeah, number 20, Return of the Jedi.
Okay. I'm actually shocked that you have Star Wars in there.
Yeah.
I really didn't think you would have any Star
I felt
Wars.
like if I have to, it's too important in like my lineage of my movie watching.
It is.
You know what I mean?
You gotta think about it. It's Star Wars. How can you not think of...
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of movies, it is like Star Wars. I mean, come on.
It's like I have movies on this list I've seen like twice. You know what I mean? That had a lasting impact. So if Star Wars absolutely had a lasting impact on me. So if that's the way I'm viewing this list, I feel like it has to be included. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. My number 19.
Woo!
This was a last minute finalization.
This is a 30 minutes ago swap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's hear it.
One that I totally don't regret, and I feel confident in putting in No Country for Old Men.
Banger movie.
It's a banger.
Yeah.
It's a banger movie. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, am I going to put that in there? And I was like, it really kind of deserves it for me because it did have a huge impact, and it's Coen brothers, so I wanted to include them in for me, and it's just kind of a really interesting, almost like perfect movie in its own way.
Totally. It's so precise and tight. Like,
it's so precise and just fantastic. I can't really describe it any other way.
Yeah. It's a real winner.
It's a great movie. So that's my number 19. No Country for Old Men.
Hell yeah. All right, my number 19 is 2001. It's another tough one because I also don't know where to place this on a list because it's like an undisputed, like, it's absolutely incredible. You know what I mean? Like, so
it's
weirdly,
absolutely
it's
incredible.
like a transcendent movie in a way. It's like not a movie.
100%.
And yeah, I mean, definitely a movie that blows me away. That was the top 10 or the bottom 10 is tough. I feel like switch this.
It's really tough. It's interchangeable.
We've prefaced this 1,000 times. We preface this. I don't need to say it every time. But yeah, I don't know. It was definitely a big one when I saw it for the first time, which was because I wasn't allowed to rent Star Wars anymore from the library because it cost $1. So I had to pick a free movie. I picked 2001.
Hey.
And I was probably way too young to watch it.
Probably.
Not because, like, I mean, it's not really inappropriate. It's just like, I was kind of like, the fuck am I watching? You know what I mean?
Oh,
But
totally.
it was kind of that first experience of that, of like, what the hell am I watching here? Like, movies are this? Like, this is crazy. So I feel like it always stuck with me in that way. It's also been a really special one to go to the Music Box and see. They play it every year in 70 millimeter. I feel like that's kind of become like a thing to do, you know? So, yeah. It's a near and dear one, and it's also just like a fucking banger. You know what I mean? These are all bangers, right?
Great pick. They're all bangers.
Yeah.
All of mine are listed 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Yeah, they gotta be. You gotta have 5 stars.
All of my top 20 are. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll just say, because we're talking about that, there were some that like were 1.5, 5 or 4.5 or whatever that was like flirting with putting in there, and I was like, I think I ultimately just ended up picking the 5 stars, the ones that like I truly felt the strongest with. Anyway,
sure.
Great pick.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Number 18.
Number 18. It's starting to get tough. My number 18 is Before Sunrise.
Ooh, nice. Good pick.
Just a great, simple, but just kind of a perfect little film. That it's the most romantic movie I've ever seen.
Definitely,
I think. It's just two souls sort of caught in this moment that they find this connection and they go their separate ways. And there's something just sort of inherently beautiful about that. And it's just if you it's 5 stars. I can't describe it anyway. It is a 5-star movie, and I think probably Richard Linklater's best film. And
yeah, probably.
And he's one. He's a really good director. So
I thought you were a Bernie head. I thought you thought Bernie was his best.
I've never seen Bernie, actually.
It's pretty good, but it's no Before Sunrise. Just making a bit. Yeah. Just doing a bit.
School of Rock. Yeah, no. So, Before Sunrise, great film. And we were even saying this like before we came on. I was like, honestly, let's just push this back 3 months. Let's just rewatch all of these.
Yeah, I need 20 days to rewatch. There were a few that I wanted to rewatch and things that I thought might, like, if I rewatch this, would I make the cut? But then I was like, if I rewatch this, am I going to force it on my list? And also, like, I don't want to just rewatch, like, 2 movies. There were 2 that I specifically wanted to rewatch, but I was like, you know what? Why am I watching 2 of these just to just like still flip flop them around 1,000 times? Like,
right. Yeah.
You know
totally.
what I mean? I feel like it's gonna throw me off more if I watch them. I'm not doing it. You know.
Yeah.
Watch all of them, or you watch none of them. You know.
Totally. That's mine. Before Sunrise.
Great pick. Unexpected. Liking it. Throwing it out. My number 18 is Videodrome.
Ooh.
Love Videodrome. One of my favorite horror movies.
Why didn't I put that on my list?
Honestly, I'm dreading. I think the thing I'm dreading most is forgetting something that you're gonna say and just sweating. Like,
well, that's one for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not to be like, what happened to you now is what I'm dreading the most. but
Great pick.
I love Cronenberg. He's one of the best horror filmmakers. And Videodrome was one of his first ones I saw. Definitely still my favorite. Don't know if it's his best, but it's my favorite.
I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think I agree with you on that.
It's still a 5-banger for me, but he's got a couple 5-bangers in his bucket there. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty self-explanatory why it's good. Am I already like toasted? Movie speaks for itself. Just say that on everyone in the list.
Moving on.
No, I mean between the prosthetics and I think also seeing it was in I watched it in a big horror boom in high school where I like first got into horror and I was like watching everything and I think it stood above the rest and stuck out because of the like weird sort of like philosophical element. There's like a lot of stuff going on that isn't just like straightforward, I guess. There's a lot of like weird, I don't know, I hadn't really seen anything like that, and like it's a whole like the subculture gets discovered and it's this whole like movement. It's this weird guy and he's living on the image on tapes and there's tapes and stomachs and I don't know, the TVs has veins. It was like, it's just a really, really bonkers movie, but very focused at the same time. And I think it's a very effective horror movie that also just has like a really peculiar vibe. Even so, like in his movies, I feel like it's like has that weird, almost like fever dream, like what even's happening, but everything kind of makes sense, but everything doesn't make sense. So I think it's really effective at that.
Yeah, great, man. Oh, that's just I'm really regretting that I don't have Cronenberg on my list.
It's tough. I'm sure I forgot someone that I'm going to be. I actually just remembered a few minutes ago. I'm like, I don't have any of their movies on my list. Fuck. So.
Yeah. Well, that's a great pick.
Thanks.
I feel like we can kind of like both sort of share. And
yeah. That's a great pick. I would have put that on. Wink, wink. If I had 21. You know?
We can blend our lists. You know, just blend them. All right. All right. So I guess number 17.
Number 17.
I picked Fight Club.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I just couldn't deny the impact this film had on me as a younger person. I still think to this day that it's like it's an incredible like piece of like filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Aside from some of the like issues that have since time has progressed, we've there are issues with it. There's toxic masculinity and just a lot of like social issues I think with it. But
I think it's also like reflecting on that a bit though. It's like self-aware.
I think it is too.
Extent,
yeah.
I
definitely but all that stuff aside, I think I just couldn't believe the like craft of this film when I first saw it. Totally. And the impact it had on me. I just can't deny that. And I haven't seen it in a really long time actually, but I think it would probably still really hold up. And I love Fincher. I love David Fincher.
Fincher rules.
I love his films. and that's probably the film that he's made that's had the most impact on me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's on my list.
Totally. I mean, there's a reason it was such like a, giant thing when it came out. It really just it hit some nice like stylistic pockets that were like just right, for the time. And it's really
I've read the book. I've read the sequel comic series. So you could say I'm a fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fight Club.
Good pick.
Yeah, thanks. Good pick.
All right, number 17. Woo! Sweating. Metropolis. Fritz Lang.
Good one. I mean, I'm just gonna give spoilers. I don't have that on my list, but I did think about it.
Swapping it was a swapper.
Hard one to leave out.
Yeah, it's just
it's a good pick.
Just a fucking great sci-fi movie. I think also it a lot of these are going to be like, it really opened my eyes to this like world of cinema, but it really did to an extent. Like I feel like before I had seen that, I hadn't really watched anything that like engrossing, number one, long, and two, on that scale from that era. And just blown away by the fucking scale of that movie and the way that all the miniatures are incorporated and the special effects, and like, I don't know, it really sent me on a Fritz Lang bender, and I liked everything I watched.
Did we see that in Enzion together?
We did, yeah, because there was that
was the first time I saw it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! It's so good. Because there was that Kino did like a complete. There was like a new restoration. There was like lost footage or whatever. So it was that great. Like extended cut or whatever. And honestly, cherish that memory. It was such a good viewing at the Enzion. It was amazing.
That was a good time. Yeah, it was a really good time. A lot of good memories at Enzion.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a couple movies on here I saw at Enzion.
It's great.
But love Metropolis. Love Fritz Lang.
Hence.
What's that?
It's a little some hints I might be able to narrow down and predict.
One of them I saw at Enzion 4 times. Can you guess what it is?
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. Not much else to say. It's a classic sci-fi movie for a reason. Fritz Lang rules.
Yes.
Yeah. Banger.
Okay. Great. That is the 17s. We're going to go ahead and pause there. And we did ask some of our listeners if they would be willing to, I don't know, say whatever they wanted to say something as a way we can all say goodbye. And so we have some of our listeners decided to send us some clips. And we're going to listen to one from Dan McMahon right now.
What's up, Zach and Wes? This is Dan McMahon. I just wanted to say a quick thank you and congratulations for what is now years of Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcasts. I had the pleasure of being on the top 10 films of 2017 episode, where we each had Phantom Thread as our favorite film of that year, as well as many other amazing movies like Dunkirk and Blade Runner 2049, which is still one of my favorite films of the last decade. So thank you both for your perspectives on all kinds of movies, from Zach's weird documentaries to Wes's Marvel and Star Wars movies that we both are so fond of. And I just appreciate all the years of entertainment. So thank you, and again, congratulations.
What a good chap.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. What a nice message. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. We really appreciate that. I can't believe that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty mind-blowing.
4 years ago.
Yeah, fuck.
4 years ago.
Whew. Yeah, that's
Phantom Thread was 4 years ago.
It feels like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. The past 2 years are just a wash, right? So then.
Oh, 2 years.
It was a year ago, but in our minds, because I don't know.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that was a great episode. I look back on it fondly, Dan, and thank you for listening and for taking the time to send in that clip.
Yeah, likewise, and thanks for your loyalty, Dan. Really appreciate it. All right, well, we're gonna move on to number 16.
I'm heaving.
I think we should switch sides now. I think we should like each time switch who goes first.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm down with that. Since we have the breaks, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Sorry, there's just a tiny spring on my desk. It's like, that looks like it belongs to something important.
That looks important.
Oh, I had a 1/4-inch adapter break earlier. That's probably what it is. Anyway, all right. Woo, woo, woo. All right, number 16. 16, right? We're at 16.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 16 for me is Tokyo Drifter, Shinji Suzuki.
Ooh.
So this was a big one. I remember seeing it for the first time, being a total Criterion head, digging through all the crit bins, and this just being so refreshing. Because it wasn't, like, for lack of a better term, like, stuffy. You know what I mean? It's just very fun and energetic and colorful. And it also really opened up that whole Yakuza subgenre, which I just love so much. Fucking love Yakuza movies. Watch them a lot. Always looking for new ones that are, popping up. New transfers, new releases. But overall, Tokyo Drifter. I love Shinji Suzuki. Definitely one of my favorite boys, making that Yakuza stuff, and it's my favorite of his movies, I'd say. It's just super fun. It's got a great look, and
it's got a great look. The best look.
It's a great look. Everyone loves the look of Tokyo Drifter, that Criterion transfer. Everyone loves Tokyo Drifter.
It's a pretty good impression.
But yeah, I don't know. Tokyo Drifter. It's a fucking banger.
Great. I wish I could give that a real good watch. I think the only time I really watched it, we sort of were casually watching it when I came over to visit you many years ago.
Oh yeah, I think we tossed it on. It's a toss-on.
We tossed it on and we were partying, so I didn't get to pay the most attention to it. But, what I did see was fantastic, and it seemed like a great film. I need to give it a true watch.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I not to keep pointing out that it's the genre in general, but I feel like it's a genre that even throughout maybe having some unsavory aspects to its aging, it prevails based on its energy. You know what I mean? There's just always a lot of energy in movies like this, and especially this one. And I just appreciate that a lot.
Excellent. Tokyo Drifter. All right, my number 16 is There Will Be Blood.
Ooh, shit.
Probably my
banger.
It's a banger. Okay. You gotta say that. It's a banger. It's my favorite P.T. Anderson film.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite directors. And it was, he's made so many great movies. But There Will Be Blood is one of, and again, this isn't my favorites, but I would say it's in my top 4 probably of favorite films of all time. Mm-hmm. I think it's just fantastic. It had such a huge impact on me when I watched it. From the just the feelings you get by watching it, the vibe, and just and seeing, and I also tend to get drawn to films that have to deal with religion being corrupt. I find a lot of connection to that, but it deals with that, and also deals with this greedy oil man who will do anything to continue to gain power, and it's just so well performed, so well shot. The score is fantastic. Just a truly memorable banger of a movie. So,
hell yeah,
there will be blood.
Hey, it's a great one. PTA.
PTA.
Gang. All right. My number 15. All right. Jacques Tati's Playtime.
Oh.
Which was scooting all around my my bottom 10. Once again, gotta stipulate it for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the scale of this movie was really impressive, and also a type of movie that I had never really seen on this scale before, which was really interesting to me. That you can make like a goofy, like, for lack of a better comparison, like Mr. Bean, you know, or like just, I don't know, like physical comedy movie that on this gigantic scale with this incredible production design and this like amazing cinematography, like so reserved, all these like big lavish sets and the inner workings of what's going on, and it's just a very impressive movie, and it's also very funny, and it's got like a great it's got a great it's great. Getting I'm toasted already.
Well, that's a strong beer there.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I don't know. It was the first of the Hulot movies I had seen, and then while I loved all the other ones I watched after, they all kind of paled in comparison, because it just feels like such like an accomplishment in an interesting way. And yeah, just the fact that it could be as big as seeing like a giant building and you're seeing 5 different things happening simultaneously in the windows, to, you know, him doing like a physical comedy gag with like a chair, you know what I mean? And like these things can coexist in the same movie together, and it can all serve this weird, like, larger purpose of what it's trying to say. And I just, I don't know. There's just so much craft in it, and it's very unique, and I think it's a special one. I think it's a very special film.
Special.
So yeah, Jacques Tati, Playtime.
Right. Great. My number 15, Back to the Future.
Oh shit! Okay.
I just had to put this in my top 20 because it's definitely one of the most influential films for me. I'll tell you a little story about Back to the Future. So I first acquired this film and watched it when I was very young. I don't know if you remember, but during a time, Burger King had they were you could buy VHS tapes from them.
Hell yeah.
And they had like I don't even remember what the other ones were, but my eye was on this poster, Back to the Future, and so I scraped and saved my allowance, and this is when I was starting to get really into movies, and I didn't have access to a lot of films. You know, back in the day when you didn't have digital streaming or anything, you had to go fucking find these things. And so Back to the Future, this thing just caught my eye, this poster, and so I went to Burger King, and my parents took me there, and I bought this VHS tape of Back to the Future.
Nice.
And I brought it home, and I watched it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And to this day, it's still it's one of my favorite movies. It's fantastic. It's
a banger.
A perfectly entertaining movie. It's the pacing, everything. It's iconic. It's crazy that it worked, because it on so many ways it shouldn't have worked, and in many ways it almost didn't. They reshot the whole movie with a different actor.
Yeah.
But there's something about that movie that just resonates with me. It's funny, it's entertaining, there's action, there's sci-fi. It holds everything for me. Christopher Lloyd. You have a DeLorean. It's just cool. So, Back to the Future, number 15 for me.
Hell yeah. All right. Number 14. My number 14.
Getting real tough now.
Yeah, it's tough. There's no going back, baby. No going back.
No.
All right.
Nope.
My number 14 is A Serious Man. The Coen Brothers.
Oh. Wow.
So yeah, this is my favorite Coen Brothers movie for sure.
It's a good one.
This is the one I saw this at Enzion 4 times when it came out.
Oh, this is the one you saw
because I just fucking loved it, and I didn't like. It came out pretty early when we were there. It was like the November, I think, like right after, or sometime in the fall, right after we started. And I feel like all the groups hadn't like met each other yet, but I was like kind of hanging out with a few different like groups of people. And I just I saw it and I was like, this movie's the best. And they go, you want to go? And I just go, yeah, let's go. I just saw it 4 times. I don't know why. It's just like the funniest. It's probably my favorite comedy. I just think it's absolutely hysterical.
It is funny
to the point where like there's humor in like the delivery of every line, and I guess it's kind of like the way that like maybe some people like viewed Napoleon Dynamite as just like everything is funny. I just think A Serious Man, just like literally everything in it to me is funny.
It's got that real dark Coen humor.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's the hardest they've gone comedy-wise, too.
But it's not flat out funny, I would say. It's that like it's like really hard, subtle humor.
It's so dry. I don't know why.
It's so dry, exactly.
I don't know. Just like thinking about like, I don't know, Santana Abraxas and like Irving Sussman and all these like names that are in it, and Cy Abelman, and I don't know.
Cy Abelman.
Just like
Cy Abelman.
I like
Cy Abelman?
Yeah, I'll think about it and just start laughing. And I've seen it so many times. It's one that I'll like just like always watch. And I don't know. All the performances in it are great. It has a really distinct mood that I don't think a lot of movies hit. So it's a nice, weird little pocket, and I don't know. I just find it absolutely hysterical, and I also just think it's very well done. So, Serious Man.
It's a good pick. It's a great movie. Yeah. Can't deny it. It's. I think I saw it with. I actually didn't see it with you at NZM because that was sort of when we were kind of getting to know each other, not quite.
Yeah.
I just joined the class or whatever. Full set.
Yeah, because you joined a different month or whatever, right? You were
I joined. Class. I was behind you, then I like jumped forward because of my past credits, but so I didn't get to see it with you. But you did introduce the Blu-ray to me, and I think it was one of my first Blu-rays I bought.
Nice, hell yeah! It was early Blu-ray era.
Yeah, we watched it together, and I've watched it many times since. It's a great movie.
Yeah, love it. So funny.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
hell
a good
yeah!
pick.
Thanks.
All right, number 14, Pulp Fiction.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Can't deny the influence of this film. It's had a huge impact, obviously, when it came out. It's an iconic film. It's what Quentin Tarantino's known for, and it's still my favorite Tarantino film.
Hell yeah.
And there's something about this film that's just, you can't quite grasp it. It is just like, it is nothing like anything else you've really seen. Yet it's also has so many, and obviously as Tarantino does, references to things, and he pulls influences and kind of puts them all together, and it's just fantastic. It's hard to describe other than that. But when I saw this movie when I was in high school, I was really into films at the time, and I was starting to discover all these films that have been out and films I hadn't seen, and just sort of exploring. And this one has always just stuck with me. It's got a great vibe. It's so fun. It's so violent and so just really iconic. So yeah, I could not put this in the list for me. Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Good pick. A little quick side rant. You see that Inglourious Basterds 4K? You gonna buy that bad boy? It came out yesterday, I think.
What?
Yeah, pick that shit up. You know what else came out yesterday?
What?
Green Knight, buddy. You get that? Green Knight is out. Best Buy has it.
Are you serious?
They have it in stock at the Best Buy. I haven't gone yet because I've been working, but just
4K?
curious. Yeah, 4K.
4K.
UHD, baby. It's not one of those it's not like Midsommar where it's like a $45, which is also very cool. I appreciate, but like,
it's a cool release. But come on, give us.
Yeah. I'm getting a little tired of the $50 4Ks. I'll buy one every now and again, but like,
we're beyond that. It's like not that new anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty standard actually.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fantastic. I really want that.
Yeah,
both of them, but definitely Green Knight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta go pick them up. Gotta make a little Blu-ray run.
Here's the problem though. It's like when you don't have your own place yet. It's sort of like
that's tough.
I don't want to acquire new things.
Yeah.
You're
in 4K limbo.
I am in 4K limbo. Exactly.
Let me ask you this: they have a 4K TV there, the UHD player.
They do, and I kind of claimed
God.
it.
No,
I know. No, but seriously. Well, honestly, it was in their basement, and sad news, their basement flooded like months ago. And
that's terrible.
It's been a terrible process to figure that out. They're still trying to seal it, but the basement's all like torn up, and that's where they had their like nice 4K TV down there.
Oh damn!
Nothing's really down there, but they had the 4K down there, and so I was like, you got a spare kind of like living room over here. We could like have that for Zoe's little play area, and a little side area for me to play video games and watch movies in 4K.
Yeah, totally. I'm thinking Zoe
claimed it.
Yeah, I'm thinking the 4K is good for Zoe because she likes the 4K. If we could put
she's used to the 4K. She watches Sesame Street in 4K.
She's not gonna like it if you down-res her Sesame Street. You gotta watch it in 4K.
She gets upset. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's basically how I played it off, and so it's actually a great TV.
Nice.
So I've been able to watch all the stuff I told you about, Foundation and all the Netflix shows and some horror stuff in 4K. So that's been great.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Got to keep my same level of
of 4K consumption
of complete spoiled first class living.
Yeah, totally.
I got to keep that going.
Can we just rant a little more about 4Ks? This is the last time, right?
Okay, sure.
This month is the 4K renaissance. How much money you got?
This month?
It's this month. It's all happening, Wes.
All the movies that are coming to theaters, that's what I'm like kind of spending my money on.
No, that's true. Yeah. You got the complete Lord of the Rings Middle Earth collection, all extended cuts, all 4K. No special features though. Kind of a bummer.
That's a huge bummer.
No archive special features, new special features, but you got to keep the Blu-ray you have.
Well, the new ones are probably just like, wow, but like new special features now are such bullshit.
Yeah,
they're like
it's not the
special
fucking
features.
appendices, It's not those.
Yeah, the appendices of the Lord of the Rings. Got those already on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
I like them in the 4K, but
so I don't want to have to keep both, but also it's like I want the 4K Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got that coming out. You got Halloween.
That's great.
Halloween 1 through 5 coming out currently.
1 through 5?
Yeah, I ordered them all, and they're all coming different times, and it's fucking so annoying because I watched 1, and I want to watch 2 and 3, but 2's coming on the 22nd, and I already have 3, 4, and I think I got 5 in the mail today. So I'm waiting for weeks to watch 2, and then I gotta watch 3 movies. Anyway, Misery came out yesterday, as well as The Green Knight and Inglourious Bastards.
Wow. Here's the thing too. I bought some stuff before I moved.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some horror stuff. Like I have the Friday the 13th collection.
Oh yeah,
but it's in storage.
Ooh,
it's in storage. I can't watch it this month.
That's
sucks.
devastating. You got to pull that out of storage, bud.
Let's go get the storage unit, bring down, give them 48 hours so I can get that Friday the 13th collection.
I'm getting it out. You got last week. You got Dune, UHD. David Lynch Dune. Got that. You got Universal Classic Monsters, 4K box set.
Okay, well that's very tempting.
Next week you got Silence of the Lambs, Scream, Demons 1 and 2, all coming out in 4K. Week after that, Deep Red, From Dusk Till Dawn. Week after that, Indiana Jones. Week after that, The Outsiders. Week after that, Mulholland Drive. All the Mad Max movies.
Well, Mulholland Drive that's coming to Criterion, right? 4K.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I kind of want that.
I'm definitely getting that.
Yeah, they definitely want that. Yeah.
And then the week after that, Citizen Kane, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Uncut Gems,
those. Menace to
Society, maybe an actually good Terminator 2 4K. Like it's fucking nuts. Krampus,
it's crazy.
R-rated cut, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Red Shoes, Wolf of Wall Street, Robot Carnival, Karate Kid, Hard Target.
I'm shocked that all these are coming out. Like.
It's crazy.
And a medium that I kind of felt was dying.
I thought, 2 months ago, I was like, shit's fucking dead. Like, the boutique, like, Arrow's putting out, it's like, I'll buy the Dune 4K for $45 or some stupid bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, fine. But, fine, fuck, I'll buy Flash Gordon for $30, $40. You know what I mean? Whatever. But.
Probably looks amazing.
It looks great.
You already have it. Yeah.
But. It was getting to that niche level where it's like everything's so expensive. I'm not going to get everything anymore because you kind of got to like pick one thing. You know, you can't get two things. You got to pick one thing. It's opening up. Shawshank just came out. Unbreakable, Clockwork Orange, The Thing.
No way.
I got the
all those are 4K?
Yeah, those are all out. Those came out last month. Star Trek 1 through 4. Yeah. I got the Star Trek box set 1 through 4. This is wild. We haven't talked in a while. I feel like it's literally been since our last cast. 4K is blowing up. Like, it's popping off. They're all coming out, baby.
Are they? It's like, what are the same studios? Like, what's causing it?
Shout Factory's getting into it big with the John Carpenter stuff, because they also have been putting out reissues of like They Live, Prince of Darkness. Those have been out in the UK for a while. But you can get them at like Best Buy now. They're just like, they're out there, which is cool. I feel like Universal kind of got back into it. They're putting out all the like Universal monsters, you know. Kino, another big one. Kino doing like Misery, Silence of the Lambs.
Then you have Criterion, which started up.
Criterion also. That's the like real big one. They're jumping.
That's a huge. Finally, God.
Yeah, fucking about time. Been holding out on Uncut Gems for so long. I was like, it's got to come out on 4K, right?
Yeah, it's worth getting that one.
Absolutely. I'm getting all the 4Ks. Putting out.
All right, so, let's.
Yeah, sorry, long rant. You know, just gotta. It's the last episode.
That's what we do.
Gotta tangent a little bit. Talk about physical media. You know what I mean?
And also, maybe some of the listeners will buy into it. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Tell us what you got. You know. All right. Well, so Kelly Harriet, she's been on the show, I think twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least. And good friend of mine, but she sent us a clip, so we're going to listen to that now.
This is Kelly Harriet. I was invited on Listen to Us Rant About Movies for the episode on The Last Jedi. I was really excited for the chance to talk about it with Wes and Zach because I had so many mixed feelings about it, and I really wanted to get into it with other cinemaphiles, not to mention other huge Star Wars fans. I think my favorite part about that show was when, I can't remember if it was Wes or Zach, but we were discussing the scene where Leia uses the Force to save herself from space, and one of them mentioned that she looked like Mary Poppins as she was flying through space. And now that's the only thing in my mind whenever I even think about that scene. I even liked that moment, but I had to admit, she did look like Mary Poppins. It was a fair call.
really good.
Really good. I believe that was you, Zach.
Yeah.
That said that. Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty Mary Poppins vibe.
But that was a great episode. A really good discussion. I mean, Last Jedi. I mean, we all know that's one for
that
discussion.
That was a doozy, and I think we all knew it. Like when we all saw the movie before we recorded, I was like, "This one's gonna be a doozy. Like this is gonna be a thing."
Yeah. So that's a whole other thing we don't have to get into right now. But thank you, Kelly, for sending that to us.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna get into the next ones. We're moving on. Number 13.
Fuck. All right.
And this time
you go first.
I will be. I will be.
Fucking God! Not that I can change my list at this point, but I don't know why.
But this is one I had to include. The Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
It's a banger movie.
Yeah, it's a great one.
It's a great film.
Classique. And it came out on 4K like 3 weeks ago. Get on it, bud.
I'm gonna buy that. It's just the best Prison Break film ever, and it's well regarded as one of the greatest films, and I think it's well deserved. It's a film that when it came out on DVD, I watched many times.
Totally.
Living with my parents.
Great Sunday movie. Sunday afternoon, baby.
It's like a perfect Sunday movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perfect Sunday movie.
You got Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman, you know?
Freeman. What was the first? How'd you say the first one?
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins.
Yeah, Tim Robbins.
Yeah, I there's not much to say on this. It's if you haven't seen it, watch it. I think most people have, but Shawshank Redemption, it's a great movie. 5 stars. I don't know why I'm trying to convince myself.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'm telling you, it's good. It's my number 13 pick.
Now I'm getting toasty.
Yeah, I am. I seriously am. No, good pick. Good pick.
Oh, thank you. All right, your number 13.
My number 13 had to get some Kurosawa on here somewhere, but I feel like my favorite Kurosawa recently dethroned by High and Low. Just the fucking like tightest thriller I've ever seen, and also probably like a big like marker for the genre moving forward of the whole like procedural mystery type deal. But I don't know. I liked it when I saw it for the first time, but I also
wasn't that long ago. I feel like didn't we talk about it on the podcast?
I rewatched it. I got it on Blu-ray last year.
Okay.
And rewatched it. And the time I had seen it previously, I was like just getting into his movies, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's one of his best," but it was one of the only ones that I was watching at the time that wasn't like a samurai movie. So I was just like, I just want to watch the samurai shit, which I absolutely love, and is what got me into him in the first place. But I feel like when I watched it last year, I just had like a whole newfound appreciation for it. That was just like, man, like what a just fucking like perfectly executed movie. And hearing about some of this fucking shit that he did to like get some of the shots is just seriously mind-blowing. Like I watched a documentary after about the making, and they were like a lot of the movie takes place in this apartment or house that's up high on a hill and has a big open like glass wall that like looks out over the whole town. And they had cars miles away with giant lights strapped on the cars driving around to get the bokeh right in the background of a close-up. Yeah, or like they asked like a family to like remove the top of their house so he could get a shot of the train. And that's
like
just
crazy production for like just like simple shots.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, maybe like if I was the person who lived in that house, I would be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But also, Akira Kurosawa isn't the one knocking on your door.
But he was a legend. He was a legend.
He's an absolute legend.
Movie.
And I don't know. And it's a thing where it's like, I don't know, that's pretty crazy. But honestly, all that shit paid off because I did notice it. You know what I mean? And just thinking about the attention to detail in kind of like every aspect of that movie, it's just like such a masterpiece. It's so good. And it's also just incredibly entertaining. Fucking flew by. It's just definitely one of the best like crime thriller movies I've ever seen, if not the best. So
wow,
high and low.
I need to see it still.
Yeah, it's a great one. Next crit sale, pick that baby up. You know.
Well, it's Kurosawa. He's amazing. So
hero.
All right. I guess we're getting into number 12.
Yeah.
12. All right. So my number 12 is Jaws.
Nice. Jaws.
Another iconic film. It still holds up. It's a fantastic film. Jaws is truly terrifying, and just the balls of the filmmaking is just so respectable. And going out onto the ship, having the live mechanical shark fly onto the boat, like wow,
it's wild. It's fucking wild.
A director at the going all out, and Spielberg, mad respects. I mean, it's crazy. No wonder you got so famous after the film.
Yeah.
So good, so many good lines. We need a bigger boat. Great cinematography. The cinematography is fantastic. The push-pull shot.
Mm-hmm.
You got so many great shots out on the water. The little moments, the scenes, and I really think too, like, as a fan of Spielberg, he's not like my favorite director or anything, but I do respect him.
Oh yeah.
And of course, how could you not? But when you go back and you watch the film, just like some of the scenes of just people talking, are so well executed in their direction. The blocking, that's where you really start to build his style, and you can really see it there. I don't know, this is something that I've noticed. I just love those. Even the scene with the father and his son before he heads off onto the boat. Just little moments like that are just so well executed. The time when they're talking about their stories on the water before the shark starts to attack the boat. So much great stuff. And then when the shark actually starts to attack,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's fantastic. Anyway, I'm just going on and on.
Oh, you're fine.
But Jaws.
Great film.
Great film.
Got another classic, cinema classic, coming up at number 12 on my list.
Oh, yeah?
The Thing. John Carpenter. Love The Thing. Incredible horror movie. Kurt Russell, one of my favorite actors.
Yes.
John Carpenter, fantastic horror director. Definitely an early one of kind of realizing that horror was like maybe a little classier than I thought, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this movie for the first time when I was pretty young, and I was probably in like, it's probably in like 6th grade maybe, or 5th grade. But I
think I was probably around the same.
It was I went to Blockbuster to rent a horror movie on Halloween, and it was the only one left. And so
there's only one left?
Yeah, which now thinking about it, it's like, damn, that was the only one left. There was so much trash there. You know what I mean?
I know.
But it was like, that was like the one. So we were like, okay, I guess we're renting this,
oh, wow.
you know? And it was like, damn, this thing's cool. You know, like this movie's cool as fuck. And yeah, I feel like every time I watch it, it's the best. Like, it's just so well executed for what it is. The score so minimal, the looks incredible, great performances, great prosthetics,
score.
What a winner the Thing is. The horror genre.
Actually, it really pains me that I don't have that on my list, because well, for one, here's the crazy thing. It's like in my top 10 favorite films of all time.
Well, it's gotta
but
be
it's not
on
in
the
my
list.
top. But it's not in my top 20 films of all time.
Yeah,
How
what's
weird
that
is
about? Come on.
I don't know.
You referenced another list before. It's like, what's that secret favorite list, Wes?
It's a hard one.
It's tough.
These all intermingle.
Yeah, we explained our process. You're fine. I'm just ribbing you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a really good pick. I mean, I love The Thing. I love The Thing.
Yeah.
I watch it every year, I think. Most Octobers I watch it. So
yeah. Staple.
Yeah. Really good. All right.
Fuck. On to 11, huh?
Number. Fuck.
11, huh? Taking it out of me.
Yeah, fuck. All right. Yeah, number 11. It's me. Yeah. So, are we gonna make it to number 1?
I don't know. It's like, damn. At first, I was like, oh yeah, we probably don't have time to talk about what we watched. There's like way too much to even get into it. Now I'm like, damn, we're at number 11. Like, I'm toast, baby.
Seriously,
my brain's mush.
All right, my number 11 is The Empire Strikes Back.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Had to include Star Wars too.
Figured it would be on there somewhere, You're a Star Wars baby.
Yeah, I am a big sucker for Star Wars.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I think for most people, definitely me, I am speaking for me, Star Wars. It's like one of the biggest influences of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And The Empire Strikes Back is you're a Jedi baby. I'm a Empire baby.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Empire Strikes Back, and I mean, I think the consensus is that it's the best.
It's the better. It's the better movie. If you're saying which one is like a better constructed technical piece, I would say it's the better movie.
That may be true, but it's also just my personal favorite.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's got the reveal. It's got the Vader reveal. It's got Yoda. It's got it's got Hoth. It's got my favorite scenes in it. So and it's just it took a concept, of Star Wars, which is undeniably changed cinema forever. Definitely. Undeniably. And took that, and Irving Kishner came in and directed the second one, and I think elevated it completely. Definitely. And brought it into, like, really bringing it into that Star Wars feel that we all know and love. It's just an iconic movie I've seen millions of times. I love it. And that's why it's on my number 11.
Hell yeah. Fucking good pick.
Thank you.
All right. My number 11 is Strosek, the Herzog film. Herzog, definitely a big one for me.
He's a big influence for you.
Yeah, I love Herzog. And while I maybe don't agree, maybe the practicality of life has interfered somewhat, but when I was younger, I feel like his mentality was just so inspiring. Just like, go out, make a movie. What's stopping you? Nothing. You know what I mean? So definitely a big influence on me, and I felt like when I first got into him, you read about his movies and you watch maybe some of the docs or primarily Aguirre and Fitzcarraldo, which are both incredible. Also, probably 5 out of 5 movies. But I feel like after watching some of those bigger, sort of like grandiose ones, I saw Strosek, and it was like, it's a weird thing where it's like, you can definitely tell it's the same language, like the filmmaker is there and like present, but it's also just like so different. You know what I mean? And it was an interesting thing for me, sort of going from these like, you know, like Fitzcarraldo, like down the Amazonian River, and you have all these like extras of these tribes helping pull a boat over a mountain. It's like so fucking crazy. You know what I mean? And then then it's like a guy playing an accordion in like a fucked up like trailer or like apartment built. You know what I mean? It's like, and just seeing the way that his style was kind of implemented on like that smaller story was really, I think, a big one for me, seeing it. And it also just has a great story with interesting things to say that resonated with me as well. So it's a good one.
Great director.
Yeah.
One I haven't seen.
Our boy Werner. Oh yeah, you should check it out.
I'm gonna also insert a little thing that I want to modify for later.
What's that?
Irving Kershner. I said his name completely wrong earlier.
Nice. I'm glad I'm not
Irving
alone.
Kershner. Yeah, I said Kishner. I don't know why I said that.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and go to another clip for one of our listeners. Big loyal fan of ours, and good friend to Zach.
Yeah, all around
Alex
just a beautiful boy. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Zach and Wes. Love the show. Sad to see it go. I always enjoyed hearing you get toasted and rip into a movie. I'll miss the rants and I'll miss Ronnie the most. Good luck to you in your future endeavors. Sincerely, Alex Lundy.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Really appreciate the kind words. That was great.
Absolutely.
We're all gonna miss Ronnie, aren't we?
Yeah, Ronnie's one of the best, and it's all sad, you know, to see him go. But this doesn't mean the end for Ronnie. You know what I mean? We can still hang out, grab a beer or something. He's in town.
Hang out, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Ronnie will meet us for a flick. We can meet in the middle of Michigan and Chicago. Ronnie will meet us
great thing.
in the third middle, because he's based in the mid-south somewhere. So.
He's pretty private.
Yeah,
we don't really ask him, but yeah. So thanks again, Alex. And we're in the top 10 now. We're in the top 10.
This is fucked.
We're halfway there.
All right. Wait, does that mean I start this time?
You start this time.
Oh God!
You start this time, bud.
All right, my number 10, The Act of Killing.
I knew you'd have this on your list.
Yeah, well, it's just fucking rules. I feel like this is maybe
it does.
The most affected I've ever been by a movie watching it. Like, seriously, I know I told it on here before, but I watched it with my buddy Sean. We just like both went home, texted each other like a while later, hours later. It's like, I haven't done anything. Just sitting here thinking about that movie we just watched. You know, like, we canceled plans because the movie just fucking like wrecked us so much. And I seriously think it's like the most successful documentary I've ever seen in terms of like setting
Very
out
effective.
to accomplish something and what it's just like how do you even get that footage? It's absolutely mind-blowing. And it's also something that I think at the time was really influential to me because it has a very interesting sort of like meta angle with the documentary, and it was just kind of like a new... it's formed very much like a film, so it's not like a new media, but it just felt very new and fresh and like nothing I had ever seen before, really. And
very unique,
while also having like a lot of important things to say and making that movie sometimes like funny. Like, I like laughter and it's like fucked up and it's like, how did they accomplish that? And I don't know, like I know that director Joshua Oppenheimer, he spent a lot of time like living there and steeping himself in that story and meeting people, and like spent a lot of time making the two movies. Look of Silence, also incredible movie.
Yeah.
So,
that's a
but
good
that shows, you know what I mean? You can just tell that it's a culmination of sorts, and I don't know. I was just very impressed by it, and it's very unique film that I appreciate very much.
It transcends the documentary
Mm-hmm.
genre. Yeah, it's a work of art in of itself.
Absolutely.
And it's a great pick. It's a really fantastic. It's like one of those like films you're just like, this exists.
Yeah, it's kind of unbelievable.
You know,
Yeah.
like this exists. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's also
Nice
probably no spoilers, but I think it's also the newest movie on my list in terms of like release dates.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which I just thought was interesting. But
That's fair
Yeah.
to say.
definitely I don't know. Most effective I've ever been watching a movie, probably.
Wow. All right. Okay, number 10 for me. Goodfellas.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I got it. Scorsese. It's just, it's my favorite gangster film, and I think it's just, it really is kind of a masterpiece in that genre. You have incredible talent, incredible director, top of their game, giving it their all, and just giving like a really great story.
Yeah, it's the best. It's just so fucking
It's so fucking
good. It's the
good.
type of movie that if someone's watching it and you walk by and you're like, I'll watch this for a second. Goodbye to 2.5 hours. Like, I will watch the whole thing. If I see more than 30 seconds, I'll watch the whole movie. Like,
oh yeah, it's magnetic. It draws you in. It's incredible. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I'll see, like if I see it on TV or something, I can drop in any point, you know, and be like, I'm in. I'm sold. Yeah. What more can I say?
Yeah.
It's
fucking rules.
my favorite Scorsese film. Goodfellas, fantastic.
Hell yeah. Real winner. All right, my number 9 is Fantastic Planet.
Figured this might be on your list somewhere.
Yeah, this was a big one for me.
Great film.
So
it's a big
cool.
one for you.
I feel like it's another one. You know, a lot of these just like really changing the way I like, you know, like view cinema. You know what I mean? But it's true. It sounds stupid, but it's like, you know, it's true. It's true. I feel like I had never seen an animated movie like that before, and it was just absolutely mind blowing. The way, like, how abstract it was. There's just like a dialogueless scene where like 4 aliens like absorb into each other and then float away in bubbles. It's like, what? You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Like, yeah, but
it's
like
incredible,
it's also not just like stupid. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of stuff it'd be very easy for a movie like this that's animated to just become like a silly goof, like, oh look, we can draw whatever we want, you know, but it somehow
like nowadays I feel like it would be like it'd get like too comedic or crazy, or like we're being weird, ha ha ha.
Yeah,
but, you know,
it's just I don't know. You can it's focused in an interesting way, and
came from a good era.
Yeah, totally. Also, great score. Definitely. It's around the time I was starting to getting into like making music, and I feel like it was a big influence there as well. That I saw it the first time, but yeah, Fantastic Planet, absolutely love it. Renee, banger, great director.
Good pick.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're on number 9 now.
Yeah.
Well, off the bat, this one and the next one after this, they're just some of my favorite movies. This movie has had a huge impact on me. I love this film.
Alien? Sorry,
Alien.
I coughed right when you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
It's incredible. It changed space films and horror in many ways. I can watch this movie over and over again. I can always pop it on. One of my favorite franchises as well. Yeah,
totally.
But the top and the best of them all still is the first Alien, Ridley Scott. His best movie, probably. And it had just such a huge impact on how I viewed sci-fi after that point. And it's got a vibe that is an aesthetic that is one of my favorite aesthetics in film. And it's something that I just want to live in, you know? The aesthetic of the 70s sort of like clunky like technology.
Yeah. The like white room with like yellow buttons everywhere.
Oh yeah, yellow button lights and like the clunky 70s technology with screens and the old like text computers but in space, and like a terrifying, I don't know why I want to live in this, but
yeah, I was gonna come around to that. It's like you want to live in like weird, slimy, like space.
Yeah, I'm fucked up. What in the head? I don't know.
I was gonna nitpick. I was gonna let you say your thing, but you know.
No, there's something just I'm really drawn to it, like just that aesthetic, but it's also so terrifying too, like having that. And if any of you like this aesthetic that I'm describing, you really need to play Alien Isolation. It's a video
I saw that
game.
that's on Switch. I need to get that. I haven't played it.
It's incredible. It's so, not to get too off track, but it takes the best part of Alien, like that aesthetic, that feeling that you get from being in the movie and watching the movie and going on the spaceship, and it's sort of eerie and like quiet and lonely. They take that and perfect it in video game form with Alien Isolation. It's fantastic. The music's amazing. You feel like you're playing an Alien, and it's a direct sequel, as if none of the other movies existed. So Alien, and
didn't know that.
Highly recommend. But yeah, so big fan. Love Alien. Love the franchise. That's my number 9.
Hell yeah. Good pick. All right. My number 8.
Wait, number 9.
I did my number 9. I'm going first this round. My number 9 was Fantastic Planet.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
My number 8, Flash Gordon.
Flash. Dun, 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 ah.
What are you going to do, you know? I love it. Do I know why? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. This has just always been one since I saw it the first time. Just fucking love this movie. It's just so fun. It's really dumb. Is it
so
a better
dumb, but so
Is
good.
it a better movie than Jacques Tati's Playtime? Probably not. But you know, I don't know. I just always really fucking loved it. I think it's a weird. It's just like a weird mash of like really interesting and like so dumb at the same time. Like the main character
so bad,
Flash is such
so
a bonehead, you know?
Yeah.
And then like it's like a bonehead versus Max von Sydow. Where it's just like what?
Yes.
You know, like and I don't know, it's just like the score is so cool.
Flash Gordon, quarterback, New York Jets.
New York Jets. It's just, and like
He's a quarterback in space.
Hans Zarkov is so funny, and like the score is great, so colorful, all the miniatures,
so fun.
Zoltan and all the like wing people. It's just so much fun and
great
like,
70s fantasy.
It's
sci-fi.
just it's just so fucking fun. I love it, and I've just always had like a strange affinity for it since I saw it for the first time. So, Flash Gordon.
Hey, great pick.
Never thought I'd have some Mike Hodges on my top 10. You know what I mean?
All right. My number 8. I think this is one, if not, let me say that over. This one is probably my favorite movie, I think.
Wait, your number 8's your number 1? Wes, what's going on?
It's my favorite,
okay.
Not the top.
Okay.
The Shining.
Nice.
I love this movie, and I am a huge fan of Stanley Kubrick. He's had the most influence on me of any director, I think.
Mm-hmm.
When I started to get really into cinema, I started watching his films, and I really latched onto him because I was just like, I didn't know movies like this could exist. This the way he directs them and the way that they're shot, and they're so meticulous and perfect. And I mean, it's Kubrick, but The Shining, I love horror movies, and The Shining has always been just like one of the most terrifying movies to me.
Yeah. Scary as hell. Very scary.
It's fucking scary as hell. And I just love it. So, The Shining, so iconic, so terrifying, and just one of my favorite films. So, yeah.
Great Scatman Crothers performance, you know. It's true though. What, do you not like him in the movie?
Yeah, he's great.
I'm just kidding. No, that Shining is such a banger. I need to watch that.
It's such a banger. I gotta watch it for this month.
Yeah. Do you have the 4K?
I do have the 4K, and it's one of the best looking 4Ks that I have.
Looks so fucking good. It's unbelievable.
It looks amazing. I last year actually, and hopefully some of them are listening. Some of my friends, last year around this time, they came over. I had a watch party, and for a while I was doing watch parties because I had like a bunch of 4K Blu-rays. I had the nice TV and got sound system. Like, come on, I want to share this. You know, like let's watch fucking movies. One of them was we watched The Shining. It was on 4K, and I think all of us were just sort of, because I hadn't watched either, so it was the first time I seen it on 4K. And some of them had never even seen the movie before.
Oh shit!
So it was mind-boggling for everyone, and it looked so good. It sounded so good. And yeah, so definitely pick up the 4K if you like the movie, because it looks amazing. It looks like it was shot fucking yesterday.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
It's pretty unbelievable how good the 4K looks. It's pretty wild.
A great transfer.
Yeah, I want to pick up that Clockwork Orange one just because of how good.
Yeah, I want to get that one too.
It's hard to find.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Be a good one to get. Yeah, it's another. That
also, their Doctor Strangelove is out too. I didn't know that. I did see that. Yeah,
I saw that it was out. Yeah,
interesting.
But anyway,
all right.
Shiny. Number 8.
Great pick. All right, my number 7. Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, I was hoping you'd have it on here somewhere.
It's a miracle. We talked about it earlier. It's a miracle movie, and I feel like every time I watch it, I appreciate it way more.
Same.
I mean, when I saw it when it came out, like when I was young, it was just like, well, this is just unbelievable. It's crazy how much of an instant classic it was. Because it really was. And it really just is sitting. If it was made a year before or a year after, it would not be as good. It was the perfect time to make it. It's pretty perfect, honestly. Like, I'm sure there's flaws, but like, it's balancing what it does. It's seriously unbelievable. The team that they got, all the writers and stuff are so good. Watching the appendices, just the amount of like passion that so many people put into this, you can tell. Like, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, it all comes across on screen because you can really tell that they cared, and it's so fucking good. Like, it's so good. Like,
it's so good. I know.
And yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Fellowship's always been my favorite, but what were you gonna say?
Me too. I was just gonna say, down to everyone cared so much, like down to the very finest details of the jewelry, the swords,
there was a sword,
clothing.
A guy who just smelted swords on and that's all he did is just make swords. It's
but
like, that's
incredible.
amazing. They look so good. They're iconic.
Each one's unique and iconic. He brought life to these swords from these characters. There's no descriptions of those in the books.
No.
But you know what they look like from the movies.
If you showed me Gandalf's sword, Aragorn's sword, Frodo's sword, and Legolas's sword, I guess that's kind of a wild card, but I could definitely pick all of them out. You know what I mean?
One hand
and it's
down.
like, I mean, I watched them last year, but before that it had been years. And honestly, if I hadn't watched it last year, I could still pick them out. Like, everything is just so iconic. Everything is so perfectly, like, production designed and paced.
The score,
unbelievable. The visuals, like the cinematography, unbelievable.
The cinematography's amazing.
Special effects.
And then the locations.
Yeah, locations. It's the perfect marriage of practical and digital. There's the giant troll CG. It plays fine because there's 20 practical orcs surrounding it. And then they escape, and there's a helicopter shot of 15 people on a mountain peak. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. Like, it's just
so amazing.
The scope is unbelievable. It's a miracle movie. I don't know how it exists. And it's like, it's seriously, it's the last like classic of that caliber, I feel like. I don't know when there will be another one.
We've talked about that.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yep. So good. Great one. I'm so proud of you for putting that on the list.
Couldn't deny it. It's the best. It's another one. I'll watch it anytime. Like, it's so watchable.
Me too.
That's the thing. It's 9 hours. I don't know. I mean, I've done it at least 4 times in my life. Watched them all in one day, all the extendeds back to back. And it's fun,
a great experience.
and I don't get bored. Like, how's that a thing? You know what I mean?
I know. What a fun thing too. I've always wanted to get like really into it. Like I'd love to like one day do like a whole event party kind of thing where it's like we make a lot of food, like of of Lord of the Rings food, you know, like
lambus bread.
Lambus bread, you know, like tavern food, like stew and like ale and just like I love that shit. I love it.
Be fun.
Yeah, anyway, I think it's one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
Definitely. And I think also the fact that The Hobbit was so disappointing really speaks to how special it was and how much I think it was like lightning in a bottle at that time. Like, it just was perfect. Everything aligned perfectly. And I don't know how it happened.
It could have easily been like what we got with The Hobbit. You know, just sort of like a lackluster sort of, all right, we got like a fantasy movie, listen. No, it's like one of the most iconic trilogies of all time now.
Yeah, like for good reason.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right. Well, we're gonna have another clip now before we go on to number 7.
Well, that was my number 7.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you have to do your number 7.
Let me do my number 7, and then we'll move on. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 7 is Taxi Driver.
Nice. Great one.
Another Scorsese. Just a movie that I saw and completely resonated with me. It has such a good vibe. It has it just perfectly captures what I think so many movies have tried to capture afterwards.
Totally.
Of that like dark, lonely place in such a big city. You have and it's so focused too on how dirty it was during that time. Like all those shots of like just bags and piles of fucking trash.
Totally.
You know, it's Gotham from the comics. You know, it is like the quintessential like New York dark film. And it's absolutely perfect. I think it's so good. Robert De Niro, iconic role for him. It's just such a like great piece of cinema.
Yeah.
So,
damn, 2 Scorsese's on the top 10.
I do.
I'm sweating. I don't have any Scorsese's on my list. I fucked up big.
What?
Yeah,
I'm shocked. I am shocked.
That's one
All
that
right.
when you said Goodfellas, I was like, fuck. You know?
You're like, oh shit. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to our another clip. We have one from one Charlie Peter. Came on the podcast a couple times, so we'll give him a listen right now.
Woo.
Hey, Wes and Zach. Congrats on wrapping up the podcast. It's been one hell of a run. Multiple different types of movies, all good and bad. Hopefully you're watching something a bit better than we watched with Rise of Skywalker for your last episode. And I'm going to crack open a Sam Oktoberfest in honor of you guys. Thanks. Hopefully that crack got caught on the mic.
It did. I clocked the crack.
Yes, we got the crack. Thanks, Charlie. Fun times. He sent that to me and he's like, I hope I don't sound too tired.
Oh no, it was great.
No, yeah. Charlie, good friend of mine, good guy. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sending that in. Mm-hmm. Really appreciate it.
Another fun one. The Star Wars were always those were always fun episodes, and it was good.
Those were always fun, for sure. All right, my number 6, Psycho.
Oh
Alfred
shit!
Hitchcock.
Damn, nice. Pulling out a big one.
Yeah, this is a movie that, like, when I started thinking like top films, Psycho is one that like had a huge impact, and it's such an iconic film through cinema. You know, it's there's so much influence from this one film. Alfred Hitchcock, a masterful filmmaker, making this really very effective thriller that I feel like in so many ways was sort of ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, you can't deny like its influence and
definitely
its expertise and just some of the it's Psycho. I mean, you know, it's Psycho. It's great. And I love it. So I don't know what else to say about that one, but I just felt like it was appropriate for my top 20 and in my top 10. Yeah.
Good call. It's a banger. All right. My number 6 is, I think this is the one that I've seen the most recently for the first time. Fabulous Baron Munchausen, Carol Zeman.
Yes. You love this movie. I have still yet to see it.
Yeah, it was kind of just like an instant thing where I was just like, how the fuck haven't I seen this? Where I was like almost like mad that I hadn't seen it before. You know what I mean?
I guess I should be mad.
This person has like all these other movies and they're all like this? Like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, what a fucking accomplishment. I don't know. It was just a really cool blend of production design in like a set and animation and live action that I had never seen before and really has not been done on the same level since, to my knowledge. Maybe in like small scale stuff, but never like features. And I was just, it's really like blown away by this movie. And I also think that it helps that it ends with just like a very sweet note that I really enjoyed. But there was some new restoration of it like 3 years ago, I think, or maybe 4 years ago, and I just got the Blu-ray and I was like, yeah, this looks kind of cool, and just like, holy shit. And it's become like, I don't know how many times I've definitely like sat down and like intently watched it since, but it's like a throw on, just like throw it on anytime. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'll watch it whenever. It's mind-blowing. It just looks so good. And all his other movies are really cool, too, that I've seen since. So, yeah. Just kind of a thing where I had no awareness of this person and then was like, how? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Nice. Good one. I know that's one of your favorites, so.
Yeah, I fucking loved it. Fucking loved it.
Fucking loved it. All right, number 5. Computer is freezing up right now.
Uh-oh.
Come on. There we go. My number 5 is a movie that you introduced me to. Ooh. A movie that I actually didn't get to until probably much later than I think a lot of cinephiles have see it in their lifetime. Mm-hmm. But Tarkovsky's Stalker.
Ooh, nice. Fuck, that's a good one. That's a good pick. Stalker rules. It's unbelievable.
It's a great, fantastic film.
Fuck.
It captures something that there's no other movie, especially in that time, that captured this this subject, and also just this this vibe of just getting lost in this zone, you know, the place where like the science and understanding completely just are eradicated and become it's a movie I've never quite seen before, and it's done in such, it's not even like that much complication in the filmmaking to it.
Yeah, and that's what's really intriguing about it is like, there, like, how does he even pull it off? Because the movie has, I mean, there's definitely high production value, but a lot of it's just them like walking around rubble and like driving a car through like big puddles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But those moments feel so heightened, and you totally buy into everything that's going on as like, this is crazy right now. But it's just like a dolly shot of like 4 guys like walking through puddles. You know what I mean? Or however many people. But I don't know. It's it really creates an environment, and I don't know how it does it.
I don't either. I don't understand how it works and how it's so effective. But it really is. And it's a movie that like really stuck with me. I'm really glad that you got me when we were doing forced films.
Oh, yeah.
Got me to watch it. That's how I watched it. And it's one that really stuck with me. Totally up my alley, totally my vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Such a good like science fiction, just like just it gives you that just like that complete despair feeling, and almost like in some ways it's almost like Lovecraftian, how you can't describe the fear, you can't describe because it's beyond human understanding, and that is somehow captured in a film, like mind-boggling.
Yeah, don't know how, and so effectively that also like 3 hours just fucking fly by. 3 hours really of just like people like driving around and walking, basically. Just like fucking flies by. I mean, it's obviously way more than that, but like in terms of like what's at, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's honestly, it's a good pick. Fuck, it's a good pick, Wes.
I think that, and now that I look at my list, that's the movie that I've seen the most recently.
Oh, okay, nice.
But I really think it deserves that spot.
It definitely deserves it.
I love
so much so that let's start Let's start over. Did I forget about it? Maybe.
That's my number 5.
Good pick. All right, my number 5 is Roy Andersson's You the Living. And I think...
another one of your favorites I still have yet to see.
Yeah, Roy Boy. Sean introduced me to him, and it was at a very influential time, I guess, in my creation of things. We were making movies and stuff, and I feel like it hit me at just the right time, and especially this one. I mean, I really like all his movies. They're all incredible, but I think the way it's structured and the way some of the vignettes go is just really interesting, and the way that it like breaks rules is not I don't know, it's very unexpected in a way, but it's also very like quaint and like low stakes, but it's very precise at the same time. Like everything is very just so in its place. Everything's perfect, but also boring. And I feel like that designed to be so, you know, visually or whatever. I feel like that style really just kind of jumped out at me, and also visually I feel like it was almost like someone going harder on the stuff that I already liked. The very like reserved, wide, long takes of that hold for a long time, and people moving throughout the frame in different ways, and I feel like it just went really hard, and in its sort of reserved, cynical nature, and really resonated with me at the time, and it's been my favorite of his since I watched them, and yeah, big fan of You the Living, big fan of Roy Boy, real winner.
Roy Boy, give it up for Roy Boy.
Give it up for
Good
Roy.
stuff.
Let's have a round of applause for Roy Boy. Roy the Boy over here, everybody.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Number 4. Last one for this kind of round, I think.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the top 3. Number 4. This is a movie that I wrestled with, but it's one that just like I had to include it. It just Citizen Kane.
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. It's a feat.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, it's I even saw this before, like I was even like I've always had an interest in movies, but before I like really got into like filmmaking, I was pretty young when I first watched it. And I even thought back then, I was like, wow, like I even knew back then, I was like, this is unlike any of the other old films that I've seen. And when I was younger, I actually saw a lot of, I don't know how I was introduced to them, but my parents just like gave me films and I always watched them. But I saw like a lot of really old films when I was younger. And this was one that like really was just like, these old films, like they can do this. They look at how different this is. And as I got older, I got to appreciate it more in the filmmaking aspect of, wow, the inventiveness of this, the sheer ambition of this movie. It's crazy. And that's why it's been known to be one of the top films of all time, because
Totally.
the ambition, the inventiveness of the craft, just every move, every camera move, everything about it is trying to be so there's just like a vision there that's just unlike anything of the time.
Totally.
It's and in many
it's
ways
very bold.
Very bold. Very bold. The lower underneath like the floor shots where they had to like carve out the floor, like they didn't do that back then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They didn't fucking build holes into the wall so they could lower the camera to get an angle. They didn't fucking do that. They just put it and pointed it and shot it. So, for that reason, that's why it's my my number 4, Citizen Kane, an undeniable, amazing film in the history of cinema. Gotta hand it to it.
Hell yeah, good pick. Cannot wait for that Criterion 4K.
Oh, it's gonna look so good.
It's gonna be fucking good. Are you in or are you out on the cover art? You in? You out?
I mean, I'm not out on it.
Yeah.
I'm not totally. I mean, it's fine.
I'm waiting to see the. I want to watch an unboxing of it. See
That's
how that
the
package
thing.
opens up.
It's like I want to see the contents.
If you flip that in, is it a digipack? If you flip the is that a die cut K? That'd be interesting. We'll see.
That would be really interesting. It's not like what I would probably go for on it, but again, some of the Criterion stuff, the covers are okay, but then you open those booklets up, and they're sometimes pretty incredible. So
it's pretty nice inside that booklet.
It's pretty nice.
Pretty good. I'm excited. All right, number 4. Is that where we're on?
That's where you're at.
All right, my number 4. The Dark Crystal.
What?
Love it.
Man, that's a good pick, dude. That's a great pick.
Been a favorite of mine since I was younger. Holds up every time. The first time I saw it, I was at a kid's house. My parents were having dinner, and I didn't like this kid, but he was a little older, and they were watching a movie, and it was Dark Crystal, and I watched it, and I was like scared. I was like scared of it. And
it's scary.
Yeah,
it's
my
scary.
old roommate like still doesn't. My roommate John, or my buddy John, he didn't like it because it's too scary. Still, he's like, I can't watch it. It's freaky. And I like get it. I get it. It's weird.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a miracle movie to me, and like the fact that Jim Henson, at the kind of like maybe not peak, but pretty much height of his power, was like, let's make a movie for kids that's scary,
like a dark fantasy.
Yeah, and it's not gonna like talk down to them, which is something I know he was really into. He's like, when I was a kid, I liked the shit that like wasn't like, hey, you're a kid, you know what I mean? So he's making this movie for them, but really it's just good on its own. You know what I mean? It's not like, and it's just a simple story, but it's also just really effective. And the fact that there's the choice of no humans is 100% puppets, mind blowing. It's this fucking weird, dark fantasy movie, mind blowing. And then the fact
such a ballsy move.
Yeah, and you look into like what it took to make, and it's just like, holy shit, this is a real movie. You know what I mean? Like there's like people, the Guardians, like the old like good elders, watching the behind the scenes of like the way people are like bent all the way. They're standing on their feet with their knees up by their elbows or armpits. And then one hand puppeteering the neck and the other hand puppeteering all 4 arms. And they walk around inside of a costume in the sun for hours a day doing that. And it looks that good. Like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. It's incredible.
Yeah.
The level of skill and just the craft again, the level of the filmmaking, to make that, like, such skill, such talent,
Totally.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's a miracle that it was allowed to be made. And it kind of is like peak puppet cinema. It's like peak puppet movie. Like, I don't know if there's a better puppet movie. It's the best one.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, like Labyrinth is great, but I like Dark Crystal way more, personally.
I think,
and I feel like that was the peak of that sort of era.
It's also all puppets.
Yeah. It's 100% puppets. Like, come on,
Shout out to Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance.
Oh yeah,
great follow up series.
Another
it's incredible that it's real, that
shocking.
it's made.
Honestly, shocked how good it was.
The documentary was amazing.
I still haven't seen the documentary actually.
Watch the documentary.
Yeah,
Watch
I don't know why I haven't. I think I wanted to rewatch
it.
the show, and then I just haven't done it. But
just watch the documentary.
Yeah,
please.
That show was unbelievable. That it was so good. I was shocked. It's the director of like Clash of the Titans remake, right?
Yeah,
like the Transporter or something, or one of the Transporter 2.
I don't remember.
It was someone really goofy that directed it, and I was so mad when it got announced. And then it was fucking unbelievably good. Like, just like, what?
And if you watch the documentary, they talk about all the people that were involved that like tried their best. And we talked about this like in Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Same exact sort of.
You just tell everyone cared.
Same mindset. Yeah, everyone really, really cared, and down to like every single prop and the costumes and everything. It's so meticulous, and it's amazing that it's actually as good as it is.
Get this. It's doubly as amazing because it is the director of Clash of the Titans, and his other films include Now You See Me, The Brothers Grimsby, The Transporter, Unleashed, and The Incredible Hulk. That's his filmography. And then Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance. Wow. Which is like so good. And then the rest
so that's the best thing he's ever made.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess he directed this Lupin. Oh, that's not the anime Lupin. It's a different Lupin. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's not Lupin the Third. Anyway.
Right, it's not Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say. Anyway.
Louis Leterrier, a stinker aside from Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance.
Great series. Watch the documentary. Great stuff.
Gotta watch it.
All right. So that ends it for that. We're going to do our final clip before we get into our top 3. This is going to be from our great friend / producer / buddy / list countdown.
Yeah, list maniac /
list maniac.
Just a great bud, just a good person.
A good old bud. This is a little clip from him.
Hey Ranters, it's Sean Pierce, and I just wanted to say congratulations on over half a decade. It's coming to an end, but very, very successful run. I've been lucky to be a fan for a long time and fortunate to have been on the show quite a few times. It's always been a lot of fun getting juiced and talking movies, interrupting and just spouting some shit. I've always had a really good time. When you think about it, this has seen you through quite a lot of changes, marriage, a child, a big move for Wes. So it's awesome. A lot of people don't have the follow through, give it up after a couple, but I feel like y'all really stuck with it and made something to be proud of. And I know I'm proud of y'all. I will genuinely miss not having y'all in my feed and not having a reason to make a top 10 list, because that was always really fun. If y'all come back, I will listen again. And if you don't, fuck you.
Amazing.
Thanks there, Shawnee.
That was great. Oh man, I'm getting emotional now.
I know, right?
A lot of good times.
Totally. Thanks for being a producer, also, Sean, for so long. Tip top producer.
Thank you,
over
Sean.
Here.
Tip top. Great producer, great friend, great person to have on the show. You're just
absolutely.
You're just almost as part of. You're just as much a part of the show as we are. So, really appreciate it. All right, top 3.
You fucking ready for this, bud?
I think I'm pretty good on these 3. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm happy with these. I'm
All
happy
right.
with my top 3.
So wait, do I go or do you go?
You go.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
Number 3, Godfrey Reggio, Coenis Cazzi. Number 3.
What did you just say?
Coenis Cazzi.
Oh, right.
Coenis
Okay,
Cazzi. Yeah. Godfrey Reggio.
Another one of your favorite films I haven't seen. I know of this
Banger.
film.
Yeah. Like, I think we've probably said 40 times tonight. Or I guess not 40 yet.
Banger.
30.
Banger,
yeah,
banger.
banger.
They're all bangers.
Yeah, definitely another one. I forget. I think I was talking about maybe Active Killing when it was just something. I mean, I obviously didn't see this when it came out in 1982. Wasn't alive. But definitely one that when I saw it, it just felt fresh. It felt like something I hadn't seen before. It felt like almost like new form of media that like wasn't. It just stood on its own, you know. It's like a dialogueless, almost kind of narrativeless, but also there's a trajectory there. Documentary. It's a trilogy of films. I picked the first. This is my favorite, which I think is the strongest of them all, but they're all fantastic. And very influential for me, both in realizing that this type of movie can exist and also in a technical way. I feel like so many things that I just immediately wanted to like rip off editing wise, like incredible editing. I mean, obviously really great cinematography. And another thing is it's one of my favorite film scores of all time.
Oh, really?
Pretty big one for Philip Glass. He's a big dog for sure.
Good composer.
Also saw it around a time just before I was starting to make music, and I feel like I was really into Philip Glass, and that was a big inspiration for me. But yeah, I do think it's just a really interesting film in the sense that it's super entertaining. It has a lot to say while it literally says nothing because it's entirely music and sound effects. But I think the fact that you can get across so many messages with this sort of abstract collection of imagery is just really powerful. And it's the prime example of that for me. And also, I mean, the first one I've seen like that. So made a very lasting impact. So, Coenis Cazzi.
Great. Yeah, well said. Hell yeah. Okay. My number 3 is Apocalypse Now.
Nice. Damn. It's a good one.
Big fan of this film. It's a movie that when I watched it, I was just completely blown away by the mood that you're put into. This, yeah, like that. It's a story that's in some ways been done before, going into the heart of darkness, like one of those stories, and it does that in such an effective way in the form of like a Vietnam film.
Totally. And
that ends up being like, in my opinion, the best Vietnam War movie I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it's incredible, and it goes into this psychological sort of downward spiral into madness that it's something that I don't think has ever been as effective in other movies of its caliber. Francis Ford Coppola, chef's kiss.
Yeah,
so fantastic. The iconic imagery, the score. You have the Doors, which is amazing, and just amazing performances. In some ways, incredibly terrifying, and just right up my alley. It is just such a good dark film. And will always be one of my favorites. That's why it's my number 3.
Oh yeah. Quick question for you.
Yeah.
Just curious. I don't, because I feel like I haven't seen it. I haven't compared. But do you have a favorite cut? Do you have like a preferred cut that you watch each time, or do you kind of bounce around? I always bounce around because I don't watch it.
I kind of end up bouncing around. Yeah.
I feel like I only watch
around.
it every couple years, so then it's like, oh, I haven't seen this cut. I'll watch that. Like I watched the final cut on the 4K.
Yeah.
And then was not as good as the last cut that I watched 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I was, if I remember correctly, because it has been a couple of years, but if I remember correctly, I remember being. Oh yeah! Now that I'm really thinking about it, the final cut was like really strange that it added some, because I have the final cut on 4K. It added some scenes that I wasn't a big fan of.
Yeah, and it seemed like it took away stuff, but kept.
And it took away some stuff. Yeah,
it was just.
I think I kind of.
What's this cut?
I think I'm more on like the theatrical, or even the director's cut version. The final cut was like. Yeah, it broke up. I'm glad that like some of that deleted stuff was left out in the theatrical and the directors, because it was like specifically the part where they like spend time in the like, what was it, sort of like the, because I've only seen it once
or whatever.
It's like the house. They spend time in a house or whatever.
Yeah,
like the manor.
Because it seemed like the final cut was like adding in some other stuff, but also streamlining it. But it still had that, so it didn't feel different enough than the previous cut. So it was like,
brought
what
in a
is
whole
this
other
cut?
aspect
like,
to it.
I don't get what the purpose of this one is. You know.
Yeah, I think overall I wasn't a big fan of that because it added that in.
Just an interesting one. It's like Blade Runner, where I don't know what cut I like best, but I like the movie a lot. Yeah. But like, which cut is my favorite? I don't know, because I've only seen them each like 1 or 2 times, years apart. So
yeah, Blade Runner it's a weird one. There's so many cuts of it. Blade Runner is sort of like. And they're all like, and some of the cuts are like almost identical, except for like one little like cut scene.
Yeah, and it's like which version of that sequence did you like best? Because it's the only difference.
Exactly.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's tough.
But yeah, no, I don't. I think Final Cut I'm sort of out on, but it was still good because I love the movie. But
looks good on
4K. And it looks fucking amazing on 4K.
Really good.
Wow,
I love that.
Really, I'm missing my collection now. It's in storage.
Yeah.
I'm really like missing my collection.
I like that Francis Ford Coppola has just been sitting around tinkering with old movies, and there's just new Blu-rays coming out of his old movies. Because within the past like 2-3 years, there's been Apocalypse Now Final Cut, Godfather 2 or Godfather 3 Coda, right? Like an alternate cut of Godfather. It was 3, right?
I don't know.
There's an alternate cut. And then the Cotton Club and Dementia 13, which I just got. It's like you've released like 4 alternate cuts of like old movies you've done over the past like couple years.
Hey,
you know,
he's hanging out. He's hanging out, drinking his wine and his vineyard, and
he just gets drunk all day. And he's like, I'm gonna go in the basement and tinker around with my own movies. And it just goes down there and like makes new cuts. It's amazing.
Hey man, good for you. It's fucking awesome.
Life. Yeah.
Seriously.
The dream.
The fucking dream. Yeah. That's my number 3. Your number 3.
Good pick. Or my number 2.
Oh yeah, your number 2. Number 2.
All right, my number 2, Jim Jarmusch, Down by Law.
Knew that would be on there for you. It's
a big one. It was a big one when I saw it. I saw it in high school.
Very influential movie for you.
Super influential. Love Jim Jarmusch. I feel like his aesthetic was definitely like a big indicator or a big influence on future stuff that I did. And, you know, with the people I collaborated with, we were all very into Jim Jarmusch. Very into the wide reserve takes, which also comes across maybe some other movies on my list. But I also... just really enjoyed the story and the way that the editing went in the movie. The pacing. Also, love Tom Waits. It was around the time I was also
Tom Waits.
getting into Tom Waits. He's like my favorite musician. So Like seeing him in that, and like Roberto Benigni and John LaRue, like what a like weird collection of people, and what like a weird movie for them all to be in. This like prison break where they're in the bayou, and I don't know. It's really strange, but a great movie, killer soundtrack, and definitely a big influence on me because it was also just cool as fuck. It was like, this movie's cool as shit. You know what I mean? Like everyone in it is cool as fuck.
So cool.
It looks cool. The soundtrack's cool. Like
they're
it's
dressed
just
cool.
the best,
they act cool.
Yeah, like Tom Waits is all about his like weird like his like pointy boots with all the metal plates on them. Like his girlfriend throws him out the window. He's like, it's his like
his records
weird,
and
I don't know. It was a big one for me. When I was like just kind of like expanding and getting into some different stuff. It was definitely one that resonated really hard, and it still does. And every time I watch it, I'm like, yeah, this movie fucking rules.
It's pretty good.
Number 2.
Jim Jarmusch. Heart. Okay. My number 2. 7 Samurai.
It's a good one. It's so good.
I love this fucking movie.
Yeah. It was, I had it, that was one that I had and I swapped it out, and I don't know if I regret
it's not in your list. I'm
high and low bumped it off, but it was much higher, and I don't know. I panicked.
This one is in my top 3 favorite films of all time.
It's so good.
It's just Kurosawa, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. The fact that it's the time that it came from and this movie existed, it was made during this time, and it's such a good classic samurai film that still resonates today.
Mifune, so good.
Oh, for sure. And it's fantastic. And the fact that it builds up to where it goes and is such an epic finale for a film of its era is just incredible. Amazing filmmaking. So influential on all of cinema.
Definitely.
Reaching into Star Wars, one of my favorite movies of all time, and or franchises. With countless remakes and many different genres, Seven Samurai is by far a classic, iconic film that is one of the best films of all time.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I might have fucked up big.
I might have fucked up big.
Fucked up big! No.
Well, you were thinking, like, I need one Kurosawa, and you chose your favorite. And...
Yeah, because, I don't know. Seven Samurai fucking rules. It's so good. It was definitely...
It's so fucking good.
It's the first samurai movie I saw, too, and it was just like, oh, shit. What a fucking awesome genre of movies. And there's so many.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, so
There's so
cool.
many. It's still my favorite it's my favorite samurai movie.
Yeah,
down.
it's so good. It's so good.
And I love samurai shit. I love Japanese cinema. It's fucking awesome. So, and I love Kurosawa.
Real winner. All right, number 1.
Number 1. What's it gonna be?
This is fucked up. Number 1? Fuck. So number one's hard. You know?
It's so hard.
Number 1's hard. Can we just talk? Well, I don't know what else I have to say. I was like, can we talk about number 1 for a second? But then I was just gonna go, it's really hard. I don't know what else.
There's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
So my number 1, Brazil.
Great pick.
I feel like it's just been a constant since I've seen it. I feel like it hits all these nice sweet spots. There's really cool effects. It's really funny, but it also takes itself seriously. Has a really fucking weird and great Robert De Niro performance, which is big points. But I also just really like, it's what it's saying and everything, and I feel like for a while, and I mean currently still, it's been a comfort. It's like a weird comforting movie to me. I don't know why. There were lots of times where I'd just be like real depressed and down in the dumps, and I feel like it was one of the movies I would watch when I was in that kind of like vibe, and I think it always helped me out. Just something about the absurdity of it, I think, that's really nice and refreshing, and sensibilities are great. All the performances are good. It's just I don't know. It's really nice sweet spot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
a really good pick. I mean, it's a 5-star banger for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
I feel like for a long time, my favorite movie, number one of all time, would shift around, but I feel like that's been one for so long that I feel like I've watched pretty consistently. And there was a time where I would watch it a lot. Like there was a pretty dark period where I watched it probably like 10, 15 times in close succession.
Oh wow.
And is I don't know. It's always been that kind of thing for me in a weird way. And it's a great movie.
Well, it's a fantastic movie, and it's a great number one. My number one, just for shits and giggles, it's on your list. Can you guess what it is?
2001.
Yep.
Hell yeah. I was like gonna look, and I was like, wait, he hasn't said 2001 yet. That's gotta be it.
2001: A Space Odyssey is my number one.
Hell yeah.
Probably my favorite director. It's Stanley Kubrick has such an influence on me, and I just the prowess of this film, the expertise, the filmmaking craft. Again, I'm all about the craft for this list. It's perfect, and
it pretty much is.
Yeah, it's a perfect movie, and it transcends your typical like film. I almost I consider it often like almost of more of an educational piece sometimes. It's a science movie. It's there's a fictional narrative obviously, but it's more like an educational film in some ways. But it's so good, and it's so iconic. The obelisk and the unknown of this alien technology. What is this? The AI and the reconciliation of seeing the evolution between apes to humans and science, and how it takes on these huge ideas in a film. It takes on these massive ideas crazy. And it goes through time, taking on the ideas of mankind itself. So fucking crazy.
It's one thing to capture a feeling, that's hard enough, but how do you capture a feeling of something that's unexplainable?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you do that? I don't know, but they did it,
and make it entertaining.
Yeah, totally.
It's and this space scenes look so good.
Yeah, they
even
hold
to
up
this day
better than most new stuff.
They're so good that people are convinced even now that Stanley Kubrick faked the moon landing because of this film.
Mm-hmm.
It does look that fucking good. It looks real. It's so crazy. I love this movie. It's a huge influence on my life. And it's not like a movie like I'm just gonna pop this on and pop in a little 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Not super casual.
It's not a casual movie. It's a movie that you sit down. It's for an experience. I wish I could see it in 70mm, like you had said. I have seen it in theaters a couple times.
You don't live too far away.
I've seen it in
now.
IMAX.
It's
true.
Maybe next 70mm festival, you gotta take the trip.
Well, that's happening. Yeah, I know I've seen it in theaters a couple times, and it's always an amazing experience to see it in theater because it's just like, what have I just experienced? It's so crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah. Anyway, not to go too much on it, but 2001: A Space Odyssey, I just kind of it drifted to my number one, and then I was just like, it just, I guess, makes sense. It's not even a movie that I'd be like, what's your favorite movie of all time? I'd be like 2001. I don't know. It's just like, kind of drifted there. I mean, all these movies kind of coalesce into a blob.
For sure.
That's where that one landed.
2001's like so transcendent that it's like, it's almost like we were talking about. It's like not a movie where it's like, you almost have, if it's gonna be like anywhere near the top, you almost have to put it at number one.
Exactly. I mean? Yeah. It's if you're breaching the 5, it's like it's gotta navigate towards number 1.
5. It's gotta be 1.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why I was like, I couldn't put it any higher than 19 because if I did, I was like, well, it's gotta be really high. You know what I mean? But I don't know what that is. I don't know what that weird list.
No, I get it.
Making is, but you know what I mean. It's tough.
Yeah.
Banger movie. Masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. So, all right. Well, that is... Thank you. Yeah. What a good list. Both of us, great lists for you as well, Zach.
Thanks. Yeah. Like yours.
Great films on your list. Some films that I wish I included on mine. I think there were some on mine that you wish you'd included.
I was like... I didn't have any Scorsese, Tarkovsky, or PTA on my list.
Wow.
Which are big ones.
Big ones.
Yeah.
I didn't have any
Mike Hodges.
I'm drunk now, so I can't remember. But there were some big ones.
Yeah.
That you had to include down there. You had Lord of the Rings really high. I wish I had put mine higher.
It snuck up over the course of like the past few weeks. I was like, you know what? Lord of the Rings fucking rules. And I feel like every time I would order, it would sneak up. It would just like keep snucking its way up. Sneaking.
I know.
It's
so good. I'm watching it tonight. I told you. I'm going to fall asleep to it. I love it. It's one of my comfort films.
Mm-hmm. Do you
it's
have
like
those
one
4Ks
of my
yet?
No, I wish.
Just
I have the Blu-ray extended set with all the appendices.
Well. Mm-hmm.
It's in storage, but I have them all on. I have them on digital too.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So if I can get into my like Movies Anywhere account, all good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But well, that's gonna conclude it.
Yeah.
As always, you can find other episodes of this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, and especially YouTube. Some of those other platforms, I think they'll probably archive some episodes, but like I've said before, go to YouTube if you want to go back on stuff. That has the most stuff, most episodes. But that brings us to the end of this podcast. Been doing this for 6 years.
Wild.
It's been a really good run. Zach, thank you for doing this with me for so long.
Of course, thank you. It's been super fun.
It's been really fun.
Great excuse to hang out and chat movies with my bud. You know what I mean?
For sure. Great memories. You introduced me to so many good movies.
Yeah, same with you.
And we still text, we still chat, and we're gonna continue to chat. But this was a really good chapter in our lives, I think, and it went on for way longer than I ever expected, to be honest.
Yeah, same here, to be frank.
But it was great. I had such a blast, and I discovered so much. I'm still not breaking my habits. We should still compare top 10s. I'm still gonna make
them.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna make a top 10 just for fun.
You, me, Sean. Let's compare. Yeah, I still log my film. Letterboxd is an amazing site. I love this site, and it keeps me honest on my films. But
yeah, love Letterboxd. Yeah, follow us on Letterboxd if you want to see our ratings. You know, Florgastorchami. It's not easy to spell, but
yeah, that one's a little harder to find. You can just find me at Westford. Probably could find mine a little easier, but Zach's on there as well.
Also, I think Ronnie, you mentioned you wanted to say something before we wrapped up here.
Oh, go for it, Ronnie.
Wes and Zach, before we go, I would be remiss if I didn't express my feelings in this moment. I want to thank you for including me on this wild journey. Even though I may sound flat or like I am just going through the same motions every week, I want you to know that I truly value each and every experience we've had together. I like to think I put my personal touch and a new spin on my little script each week. Being a part of the Listen to Us Rant About Movies podcast has been such a joy in my life. I know I haven't been a part of it for as long as you two, but it's really left a lasting impact on your old friend Ronnie, and for that I am eternally grateful. I love both of you with my whole heart. Especially you, Wes. I will miss being a part of this cast, but alas, all things must pass. I will miss your movie expertise, hearing your beautiful voices, and seeing your smiling faces when we record together. Excuse my speech as I hold back these tears. Sniff, sniff. I thank you for inviting an old man like me into your world. I wish you both the best in your future endeavors. I love you both, but especially you, Wes. Till our paths cross again, till next time.
Oh, that's incredible. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for that.
Ronnie, honestly, so nice. I wasn't expecting that. You really caught me off guard, but that was really sweet and thoughtful. And I really appreciate you too, Ronnie. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ronnie. Yeah. Didn't realize we had such an impact on you, but it's really great.
I'm really glad that this was that for you, you know? It's really great to meet you, and like we said earlier, it's like this isn't the end. We can meet up and hang out, Ronnie.
Yeah, we can hang out. Yeah, you can tell us different ads that you read, you know? and stuff like that. I really like to hear your opinion on films, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But okay. Yeah, so we want to thank all of our listeners. In all seriousness, thank you for our listeners for sticking with us through the years, especially our Patreon supporters, all of you are awesome. You provided a massive amount of support to the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Seriously.
you so much. Means a lot.
It does. Zach, again, you're one of my best friends. Thank you for all the good times. Really appreciate it. And you always brought just like a great perspective to movies, and you opened my mind in many ways. So I really appreciate you hanging out and doing this with me.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you, bud. You're obviously a close friend too, and I've had a lot of fun doing this, and it's been great, and it's been a great motivator to maybe like get my curmudgeon-y self out to see some things that maybe I wouldn't have, and I think I've gained a lot of perspective from that, and I feel like you've introduced me to a lot of cool stuff too, and it's been a fun ride, fun ride with my bud, you know what I mean?
It's been a fun ride. It's not fully goodbye to us. Zach and I are still friends, and we're gonna be hanging out.
Thank God!
I moved up.
I thought we weren't allowed to hang out anymore after.
You're like, oh no, wait,
this is the end. Amazing.
I wanted this to be over.
No,
just kidding. No, yeah, I moved up north, so we're gonna be hanging out. But the show is over, so goodbye to all of you. We're gonna keep hanging out.
Yeah, we'll hang out, but we just won't record it for you to listen to.
Yeah,
you'll have to come in the proximity of us talking to hear these rants. They won't be broadcast over the internet anymore.
It's true. But that's the end. We did it. Thanks, everyone.
We did it. Thanks so much.